Okay, so children, today we are going to discuss about the friction, basics of friction, children, 8th class CBSE. Very basics we will discuss, children, not very high concept, because as you go to the higher classes, you'll be having very high level discussion about the friction. What is the friction? Friction is force which opposes the motion. Friction is the force which opposes the motion of one body on another body. Okay, friction is the force which opposes the motion. Okay, so suppose children, if you are going, if you are walking, okay, if you are walking, children, okay, you are walking, you are able to walk in, children, you are able to walk properly. It is because of friction, children. If friction was not there, you would have skidded like this. You would have skidded like suppose on the ice. How it will be, children? You will be skidding. Okay, so if there is no friction, what happens means a person keeps on skidding, children. Okay, try to understand what is happening means. If friction is present, it opposes the motion. Why? Why friction is caused means, children? Between the surfaces in contact, this is one surface and this is one surface. This is the shoes of the person and this is the area of the contact. There will be some irregularities. There will be some irregularities. That irregularities will interlock. That irregularities will interlock, and therefore a little type of friction is caused. Okay, friction always opposes the motion. Friction always opposes the motion. Friction is represented by small f, children. Okay, and friction is directly proportional to normal reaction. What is normal reaction? What is normal reaction? Is suppose, children, this is a box which is lying on the table. Which is a box which is lying on the table. When this box exerts some force, this box will exert some force on the, okay, when this box is exerting some force mg on the table will exert some force on the box. The force which is exerted by the table on the box is called normal. Okay, children, you are able to understand, children? So normal force, this is called normal force. Try to understand, children. Again, I'm saying, if a box is exerting some force on the table will exert some force on the box. This, if you are exerting some force on the wall will exert some force on us. That is called normal force, children. And this n is also force only. Friction is also force. If you remove proportionality, you have to keep a constant mu, where mu is called coefficient of friction. Where mu is called coefficient of friction. What is mu called? Coefficient of friction. Mu is equal to F by N, because N will go down the chip. Friction is also force. Normal reaction is also force. Force by force, 0. No units for coefficient of friction. There are no units for coefficient of friction. Those who did not understand, again I am saying, the force of friction is directly proportional to normal reaction. What is this called? Normal reaction. What is this called? Normal reaction. If anyone asks you what is normal reaction, I will say, listen, if a box is exerting some force on the table also will exert some force on the box. So that is called normal reaction. It is also a force. Removing proportionality, keep a constant mu, where mu is called F by N, coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction don't have any units, and directional formula is M0, L0, T0, because no units for children. That's all. Okay, now friction is of three types. Friction is of three types. Okay, so what is the friction, children? Force which opposes the motion. Why friction appears? Because of the irregularities in the surface. Because of irregularities in the surfaces. Okay, when you are walking on the road, children, your shoes is not perfectly soft and the air also not perfectly soft. Some irregularities will be there in your shoes, some irregularities will be there in your the surface. They both will interlock and causes the friction to act. Friction will oppose our motion, children. Friction will oppose our motion. Okay, always if you are moving, try to understand, if you are moving in this direction, if you are going in this direction, frictional force act always in opposite direction, 100%. Okay, if you are moving in this direction, frictional force acts opposite direction. It is opposing force. It's a force which opposes the motion. No, sir, I will go like this means, yeah, then friction will oppose in this way. If you go in this way, friction will come in this way. If you go in this way, then friction will act in this way. But friction is always the opposite force. Okay, children, you are able to understand. Please listen. If you hand it out, so later I will clarify. Okay, so what are the things we have studied now? What are the things we have studied? Friction is opposing force which acts on the motion of the body. It is an opposing force. Okay. Why it occurs? It occurs due to irregularities of the surfaces in cotton. Okay. And friction is directly proportional to normal reaction. The moving proportionally keep a constant mu, where mu is called coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction. Friction is of three types: static, kinetic, rolling. Rolling. What is static friction, kinetic friction, rolling friction? Children, try to understand. Please try to understand. Please mute your audios. If not, I'll remove from the group. Remember, children, this is a body. This is a body. It's not moving. Okay, imagine this is your car. This is your car. Imagine it is not moving, children. This is not moving. First, it is not moving. Okay, your car is not moving. When it is not moving, also, children, till you push it, it won't move. Till you push it, if it is a horizontal surface, till you push it, it won't move. Yes or no, children? Till you push it, it won't move. Why it is not moving even when you are not pushing? Because there is some friction between the tires and the road, even when it is at rest. The friction which is present when bodies are at rest is called static friction. You are able to understand, children? When you are standing, also some friction is there. Sorry. When you're standing, also some friction is there. If friction was not there, you would have skipped it. When standing also, when you're standing also without moving anything, there is some friction. That friction which is present when the bodies are not moving, when the bodies are at rest, is called static friction. Now, if you start moving car, then also some okay, there is some body. If you start moving this body, then also some frictional force will be present. No? So bodies when moving, the frictional force present is called kinetic friction. And 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 rolling. What is rolling friction? Means a ball, a ring, which is rolling on the ground. The friction which is present between one round body and flat surface. Even a round body will have some type of friction. That is called the friction which is present on rolling body. On rolling body. Even a rolling body also will have some friction, no, children? If it is going in this direction, friction opposite. If it is going in this direction, friction is opposite. So friction which is present at rest is called static friction. Friction which is present with moving is called kinetic friction. Friction which is present when body are rolling is called rolling friction. Among these three frictions, which is less? Which is least friction? Among these three, rolling friction is least, children. Next static friction, next kinetic friction, children. The rolling friction is very less it will. That's why we always prefer round wheels, children, because when a body is rolling, friction will be very less. Okay, so static friction and kinetic friction, children. Static friction, okay. Kinetic friction is next, children. Static friction is highest. Static friction is highest. Then you will ask, why, sir? Imagine, children, I will give one small example. There is a car on the road. There is a car. Your car has been stopped on the road. Imagine your car has been stopped on the road. So someone will ask you, and please push. I will drive. I will drive. That day, this you will say. When you are pushing, children, when you are pushing, till it moves, it will be very difficult to push. Once it is moving, it is easy to push. Till it is moving, till you start moving, the static friction will be very high, children. But once it starts moving, once anything, not only car, any box or anything, till you start movement only, the friction will be highest. Once you start moving, the friction will decrease, and rolling friction is among them. It is the least, children. It is the least. So mu n, mu r n, okay, mu r n r, mu k n k, and mu s and s. Normal direction, cancel. So coefficient of rolling friction is less than coefficient of kinetic friction is less than coefficient of static friction. Okay, children, this is about friction. Okay, so still it is there, children. So what are the three types of friction, children? We studied static friction, bodies when at rest, kinetic friction, bodies when they are moving, rolling friction, bodies when it's rolling. These are three types of friction we have. So what is a friction? Opposite force. Why it is occurring? Because of irregularities in the surfaces. Friction is directly proportional to normal reaction. What is normal reaction? It is also a type of force. Removing proportionality, keep a constant mu, where mu is called coefficient of friction. What are the three types of friction? Static, kinetic, rolling. Static friction is friction which is present when bodies are at rest. Kinetic friction is the friction which is present when the bodies are in motion. Rolling friction is the friction when the bodies is rolling. Okay. This. Okay, children, now next topic here. What are the causes of friction force? You understand, children? What are the advantages of friction? Some advantages. So many are there. Some advantages of friction. What are the some advantages of friction? Number one, we can walk. We are able to walk, my children, is because of friction. Suppose friction was not there, it would have skid. When you are walking, you would have skid always on the ice surface, on the snow surface, or very smooth on the oily floor. Can you walk? It will be so skiddy. You are able to walk properly, which is because of friction, children. Okay, and even if you are able to write nicely, which is because of friction. It's not like this, it will skip. Like this, it will skip. Okay, children. Okay, and you are able to fix nails. Okay, children, once a nail is fixed, when it come out, children, it won't come out. Why it won't come out? Because inside friction will be there. If friction was not there, nicely you can put inside, you can take it outside. Okay, so even so many children, even vehicles move because of friction only. Vehicles move because of friction. There are so many advantages of friction, children. And even when you are burning a matchstick, how when due to friction only, the matchstick is getting fire. Due to the friction only, that matchstick is getting the fire. These are some of the advantages. There are so many advantages. What are the disadvantages of friction? Okay, what are the disadvantages of friction? Because of friction, what happens with children? It will cause damages to the machines, children. Damage to machines. It will be why, sir? Why means because when machines are moving continuously, they'll be rolling. It causes heat generation and wear and tear will occur. Because of this continuous use, machines will damage. You have to replace the parts again and again. Okay, and even because when machines are damaged, its efficiency of machines will decrease. Efficiency decreases, isn't it, children? You have to replace the parts again and again. After some days, if you use the tires in the vehicle, some days it will sink, no, children. Why? Why it is happening? It is because of it is because of friction only, and it causes wear and tear of machine parts or anything. Wear and tear of anything. Wear and tear of any parts of the body are also because of, and even our soles of the shoes. Soles of the shoes are they are day by day they're becoming thin. Means it's because of friction, and even tires after some days they will spoil. Why? It's because of friction only. So how do you increase the friction? What are the methods to decrease? Sorry, what are the methods to decrease friction?
Lubricants.
Okay. First we'll study what are the methods to increase friction. Advantages, disadvantages will decrease it. Okay. What are the methods to
So we can't see the upward.
okay? What are the methods to increase friction? What are the methods to increase friction? Some methods will see, children. Okay, normally to increase the friction, surfaces are made very rough. Surfaces are made very rough, children. Okay, and even what happens? So because of this, surfaces are when made rough, it increases the friction, children. It increases the friction normally. Anyway, surfaces are made rough. I told you to mute your audios. And what are the methods to decrease friction? Whenever any parts of your cycle are not going smooth, any sound is coming, what you will put, children? You will put some lubricants. What are lubricants? Like oil you will put, like grease you will put, or some graphite you will put powder. Okay, you will use lubricants. And also you will apply powders. When you are playing carom board, children, when your striker is not going properly, you put some boric acid. Boric acid is a powder. Once you put, striker will go smoothly. Okay, that is applying powder. Or okay, polishing. If you polish the surface also, they become smooth. And also streamlining. Do you know what is streamlining, children? Streamlining. What is streamlining? Suppose if you see, children, in the water, this is the water. Okay, boats are not made like this, children. Boats are not made like this. They are made like this. Why? Because they will cut the water. When they are going, they will cut the water. If it is there like this, they can go, but it becomes difficult, children. Even aeroplanes are made like this. Why? They have to cut the air. They have to cut the air. Even birds also present like this, children. Why? Because they have to cut the air. No, sir, I will make aeroplane like this. It's okay, but a lot of friction will present. Because of friction, you have to waste a lot of fuel. Why to waste a lot of fuel, children? This is called all the surfaces of in the boats, airplanes, birds. They are made like this. Why? To cut the water, to cut the air. This is called streamlining. What is it called, children? Streamlining. Why it is called streamlining? Because it will cut. Or you can use ball bearings, children. Ball bearings. Did you see anything ball bearings, children? In the cycle, small leads they will put. Okay. Or using rollers, or because rolling friction is less, no, or wheels. When suitcase is very heavy, what we'll put? We'll put rollers and we'll put the wheels and we'll take it away like that, because rolling friction is the least much. Okay, so the friction is not only present in solids, children. Friction is not only present in solids, it is also present in liquids, children. The friction which is present in liquids is called fluid friction, children. The friction which is present in liquids is called fluid friction, children. Now, what are the factors on which this friction depends? What are the factors on which this friction depends? That is also very important, children. Okay, so what are the factors on which this friction depends? Means friction depends upon number one, friction depends upon nature of surfaces. Natures of surfaces in contact. Nature of surfaces. Okay, children, friction depends upon nature of surfaces. If surfaces are smooth, friction will be less. If surfaces are rough, friction will be very high. Friction will be very high. Nature of the surface. Now, next one, number two, area of contact. Area of contact. Number three, force with which two surfaces are pressed together. Okay, nature, area, force. These are the factors on which your friction depends. These are the factors on which your friction depends. Okay, so what are the things I told children today? This is entirely about friction, children. What are the friction? Friction is opposing motion, to opposing force which is acting on the motion of the body. Okay, why it is appearing? Friction appears due to irregularities in the surface. Friction is directly proportional to normal reaction. You remove proportional to keep a constant mu, where mu is called coefficient of friction. There are three types of friction: static, kinetic, rolling. Static means the friction which is present when the bodies are in rest. Kinetic is the friction which is present when the bodies are in motion. Rolling friction is the friction when the bodies are rolling over each other. Advantages of friction: we can walk, we can ride, we can fix nail, we can vehicles are moving massive. You can write some of your own also, no problem. Disadvantages: these are very important. Damages to machines, efficiency decreases, wear and tear of all the parts, soles of shoes, tires, what not, children, all, even our bones in the old age, it will become very weak. Why? Because of continuous friction we are using all over the life. What are the methods to increase friction? Make the surfaces rough. What are the methods to decrease friction? Use lubricants, apply powder, polishing, streamline, ball bearings, rollers, wheels, etc. etc. Very important. Okay. Lubricants, very important. What are the methods to decrease the friction? Means you can use lubricants like oil, grease, graphite, etc. Or apply some powder, polishing it, streamlining. I told you streamlining and birds, okay, airplanes, okay, even buses. If you see children, buses, they are not present like this. Children, bus, it is present not like this. Like these, they'll be present because the air will come and go like this. Children. If not, if they are present like this, what happens? A lot of air frictional force will be present, because of which fuel gets wasted. Unless any fuel gets wasted. And what are the factors on which friction depends? Nature,
Is
area,
metro example? Metro rail.
metro rail also. Yes, some. Yes, some. So, children, so what are the factors on which friction depends? Nature of the surfaces in contact. Okay, if the surfaces in contact are very smooth, they will slip over each other. If they are rough, they can't slip over each other, children. It's up to you. If you want not them to slip, if you don't want them to slip, you put the more rough surfaces. If you want them to slip like skating, you want to do, you have to put very polished ground, because smooth it should go, no? Like ice skating, like that, etc. And area of the contact, more is the area, more is the friction, children. Area of contact, more is the area of contact, more will be the friction. Less is the area of contact, less is the friction. And force with which two surfaces are fixed, children. Force with which two surfaces fixed is also important. And this derivation also, I hope you understood, children. This derivation normally in as I won't say, they will say intermediate. Just I told children, not that much important. F is frictional force is equal to mu into normal reaction. F is equal to mu into normal reaction formula is mg. Normal reaction formula is what, children? Mg. Okay. So frictional force is equal to mu mg. You can say frictional force. Frictional force is always opposing motion. Children. Wherever you go, it opposes a motion. Wherever you go, it opposes the motion. Suppose you are going front. Okay, air friction will be there. Air friction which opposes your motion. Like that. Everywhere friction opposes. Air friction or land friction or water friction. And the friction which is present in the liquids is called fluid. These are the topics of friction. I hope all of you are copying, children. If you are not copying, I will take one picture and then put, children. Anyone have any doubt, you please let me know now, children.